It's the ice. Why is it so big?
So it doesn't melt. It's actually really interesting how they do it. It's this one company out in Boston that... Ah! Ah! That went south so fast! Ah!
The American West is a terrible place in time. Everything out here that's not you wants to kill you. Angry drunk people, hungry animals, outlaws. Oh, the fucking doctor.
I couldn't save her.
She had a splinter. Doc, what the hell were you supposed to do?
I would like to welcome a new member to our community.
Welcome to our awesome town.
What's with this fair?
Every year, people die.
Really?
Everybody hold still.
Hold still!
People die at the fair.
People die at the fair.
Somebody in this town is going to die.
Oh my God, somebody's gonna get fucked up.
Please don't shoot us on sex night.
You beat this guy at a gunfight, you're gonna be a real hero.
He's the most vicious gunfighter in the territory.
I'm gonna teach you how to shoot.
Oh my God, I just broke up with her. Quick, just pretend you're my girlfriend.
I'm his girlfriend. A lot of sexual activity.
All the time. I live inside her. So if you want to send me a letter, you got to address it care of her vagina.
Yep. Aim up.
Get ready. I'm about to shoot a full load at your cans.
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa, that was a long day. This one man wanted me to smoke a cigar and then like ash on his balls while I'm jerking him off, and it was just like, what? Can I do this? But I did.
Wow. So your job is so interesting because no 2 days are alike.
I know you're here, Stark. Nakla, Henaza, Imeko.
Hahatena ashte. Mila kunis. Mila kunis.
Tajos, Negle.
Cha, Tanjo.
Uste, Tasche, Go Ute.
What do you say I steal a bottle of whiskey and we hit the road?
I love that idea.
Your dick's out.
Oh.
A million ways to die in the West.
Maybe the frontier's not so bad after all.
Hey, it's a sweet young couple. Can I interest you folks in a miracle cure?
Holy shit.
I find this trailer fascinating, largely because of what's going on between the lines. And so I definitely want to discuss that. But first, let's just talk about the trailer itself. I liked it. I didn't love it. It had some very good jokes in it. I loved when he was trying to shoot the bottles and he just ended up knocking them over. I thought that was well done. And I thought Giovanni Ribisi's joke to Sarah Silverman about how I love your job, every day is different, was also very funny. It reminds me actually of a live-action Family Guy episode. I think that's really what you have here. And I do enjoy Family Guy. I don't tune into it like when it is first aired, but I like watching reruns, or if I don't have anything to watch, it's one of my first choices, to check out if I haven't taped anything else on demand. And I always can count on it for one or two really good laughs, just like, I just noted here. I thought those were two very good jokes. But the rest of it, I thought, I don't think it was what it needs to be as successful as Ted. And of course, that's what this film is going to be measured against, which is a difficult, it's a tall order for Seth MacFarlane. I mean, obviously the success of Ted is wonderful for his career, but it's tough to follow it up for what your second act is. And I think he might have made a mistake with choosing this as his follow-up film. So allow me to discuss. Ted was a high-concept movie. And what high-concept means is it's a very simple idea that you can very easily explain to audiences and they can really get behind, and it has mass appeal. And of course, the idea of a teddy bear coming to life, everybody has had a teddy bear and is familiar with teddy bears and has imagined and wished their bear was alive, and then kind of marrying that with the idea of a childhood friend growing up and how that can be a bad influence on you sometimes when we outgrow our friends, etc. That was really a brilliant idea to put those two together, to take a childhood toy and take the childhood friend and make it the same narrative. That was really smart. And of course, Mark Wahlberg in a comedy is a good sell. Everyone likes Mark Wahlberg. He's very likable. He's a well-known commodity. So that movie was, as soon as I saw that trailer, I felt that's going to make a lot of money. I didn't know if it would be good, but I knew that it would have widespread appeal. And it has. It made over $500 million worldwide. They're making a sequel. Huge hit. Now, for this follow-up film, I can understand that maybe Seth MacFarlane felt the high concept was it's the Old West, but instead of focusing on a cool guy like Liam Neeson's character here, I'm going to focus on a regular everyday guy, kind of almost like Billy Crystal in City Slickers, but we're going to do it, Back to the Future 3 style. I see all those elements at play. And, Seth MacFarlane is, very referential in his comedy, so I'm sure maybe he's thinking of those things too. I see a lot of those elements there. So you could argue that's high concept. Regular guy in the Old West. However, I don't see that in the trailer, and I think that's because not only is Seth MacFarlane's comedy very referential, but it's very tangential, which works on the television show, but for a movie, a movie needs a strong through line in its comedy to be successful. And any movie needs a strong through line in its narrative, and I don't totally see that here. I don't see it being set up. I just see a lot of jokes, some of them hitting, some of them not. And I guess, it depends on who's watching. Everybody has different tastes in comedy. So I think that's some concern that I have. Also, you see here with Seth MacFarlane playing the lead, and I guess he feels he voices the lead in his television animated shows, so why not be the lead in a live-action version of that. What you really have here, instead of Seth MacFarlane selling the Ted high concept idea, he's really selling himself, both as an actor and his style of comedy. So that's what audiences are being asked to buy here. They're being asked to vote with their money and confidence to Seth MacFarlane, not Mark Wahlberg or an idea. He's really literally putting his face on this, and so that'll be interesting to see how people react to that. And because he's not a big name, and I think you have some, obviously you have some Oscar winners here, and people like Liam Neeson, but I don't see any big box office people here who would do really well. He hasn't hired any big box office champions. So that's a concern. The other thing that gives me some concern about its box office, potential is that this reminds me of films that are cult hits and maybe not cult hits that have not done well. For instance, this is very Harold and Kumar in my opinion, but it's also very Your Highness, that Danny McBride, James Franco movie, which took like a fantasy film like The Princess Bride and added modern day humor to it. And I didn't see that in theaters. I rented it and it was hit or miss. It had some good jokes in it, but by the way, the joke about passing around the peace pipe, I guess, or whatever that they do here, is almost an exact duplicate of a joke that was done in Your Highness with Danny McBride telling James Franco not to embarrass him, adding like current drug culture etiquette, I guess you would say, to an old-time situation. It's the same setup. So I'm surprised that nobody would mention that to Seth MacFarlane. I guess he didn't see that movie, but he's lucky that a lot of people didn't see Your Highness. So I worry that this movie might fall into that category. But it piqued my interest. I think that this would be a phenomenal rental, so I'm curious to see if people actually go and see it in theaters. Maybe a second trailer will shore up the narrative and that more high concept idea of a regular guy in the Old West. You kind of get it with like A Million Ways to Die in the West, and he's talking about what they all are. You see that a little bit, and then also the special effects here, well, they were very good on Ted. You never didn't believe that bear was alive. I mean, obviously the fact that bears aren't alive, but the special effects really sold it. But a lot of times here, the special effects are very poor. Now, of course, in animation, Seth MacFarlane can luckily do anything that he can dream up very easily. But for instance, when the ice falls on, that looks very fake. When the bull hits the guy at the fair, it looks very fake. So it'll be interesting to see if the jokes still land if they can't be sold as well as they are in animation. So I'm curious to what you guys think. What are your favorite jokes here? Does this look like live-action Family Guy to you as well? Do you believe in Seth MacFarlane as a movie-going talent? Do you think you would pay to see him on the big screen, his exact humor that you watch for free on TV? And do you think this movie can work? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you for your patience in getting this review. I was away out of town for my grandmother's 90th birthday, and so I just had to wait till today to review it when I was back in town. But write your thoughts down below, and you can check out some more episodes right now.